Welcome back. We're jumping right in today with really big news. Yesterday, May 8th, 2025, Cardinal Robert Prevost is now Pope Leo the 14th. He was heading the dicastery for bishops, and now he's the first pope ever from the U.S. You want to know who this new pope is? And fast? Well, that's what we're doing. We're digging into his background, his past statements, basically giving you the key info.
Exactly. It's about getting you up to speed quickly. And that old job, prefect of the dicastery for bishops, it gives us a unique window. That office is pretty central to picking new bishops all over the world. So we have some idea of his thinking.
Okay, let's unpack that. Where did he start out? Pope Leo the 14th, I mean.
He's from Chicago, born back in 1955. But his path wasn't straightforward. He actually got a degree in mathematics first.
Yeah, mathematics, really?
Yeah. Then he moved into theology, diplomas, eventually a doctorate in canon law. It's an interesting combination. Analytical thinking meets, church law and theology.
Definitely interesting. And he didn't stay in Chicago, right?
Oh, not at all. Joined the Augustinians in 77, ordained in 82, and then, he's been about 20 years as a missionary in Peru.
20 years. Wow.
Became a Peruvian citizen, too, in 2015, so really deep roots there. He was Bishop of Chiclayo in Peru for about 8 years until 2023. Lots of on-the-ground pastoral work. And even before being bishop, he led the whole Augustinian order worldwide for like 12 years.
Okay, so this dicastery for bishops he led just before becoming pope. What's the core function there? It sounds important.
It is a very big deal. Basically, they're the department that does the groundwork for selecting bishops. They gather names, investigate, consult, and then they recommend candidates to the pope.
The pope makes the final call, though.
Always. But the dicastery's recommendation carries huge weight. And it's an old office, goes back to 1588 or so, shows its longstanding importance. What's also quite new, and happened while he was prefect, is Pope Francis appointed women as members of that dicastery. That was a first.
That is a significant development. So what did Cardinal Prevost, now Pope Leo the 14th, say about what a bishop should be? What were his views then?
He really hammered home the pastoral side of things. Being close to God, yes, but also close to other bishops, the priests, and importantly the people. He saw authority as service. Accompanying priests, being a teacher, a pastor, not administration first. He famously said, a bishop shouldn't be a little prince in his own kingdom.
Little prince. That's
Yeah.
quite an image. Emphasizes humility.
Right. And he said the main job, above all, is proclaiming Jesus Christ and actively working for unity within the church.
Okay, that focus on unity seems key. How did that play into his views on, say, church governance more broadly?
Well, it connects directly to this idea of synodality that Pope Francis has been pushing. Prevost was a strong supporter. Synodality, it's basically about listening more, consulting more widely, bringing in voices from clergy, religious orders, and the laity, ordinary church members into the conversation.
So less top-down.
Sort of, yeah. More collaborative. His own motto as a bishop speaks to this. In ille uno unum. In him one one. All about unity in Christ.
And how did he want to apply that synodal idea to actually picking bishops?
He aimed for a process that was, more synodal itself, more input from different parts of the church locally. Apostolic nuncios, the Pope's ambassadors, play a key role in finding candidates, but the goal was broader consultation. He stressed looking for pastoral qualities, leadership, that connection Pope Francis calls the smell of the sheep.
Being close to the people.
Exactly. And Pope Francis appointing him, someone with that missionary background from outside the usual Vatican circles, seemed intentional. He wanted that perspective.
It sounds like he wasn't keen on what's called clericalism then.
Not at all. He spoke against it quite clearly, this idea that clergy are somehow above everyone else or focused on power. He wanted bishops motivated purely by service. He even pointed to Pope Francis as an example of fighting clericalism and adding women to the dicastery. He saw that as bringing in necessary different perspectives, perhaps pushing back against that clerical mindset.
But on the specific issue of ordaining women.
He was cautious there. He made a comment once suggesting that, clericalizing women doesn't necessarily solve a problem. It might make a new problem. So supportive of women's roles, but hesitant on ordination itself.
Right. What about other social issues? Do his past statements give us any clues?
Well, his first words as Pope Leo the 14th focused on peace, dialogue, evangelization, carrying on Pope Francis's legacy. Very broad themes. Looking back further, there are statements from 2012 expressing concern about what he termed the homosexual lifestyle and alternative families. On the other hand, reports suggest he was supportive of Venezuelan immigrants coming into Peru. And as bishop in Chiclayo, he opposed introducing gender ideology in school curricula. There are also reports he favored letting divorced and remarried Catholics receive communion, which is, a complex issue.
Okay. So quite a few different dimensions there.
Definitely. It's not a simple picture.
And now he's Pope Leo the 8th, elected May 8th, first U.S.-born pope, kicking off with messages of peace and dialogue.
That's the situation. So you've now got a good handle on his background, the international experience, the time in Peru, the governance role in Rome, his stated priorities like unity, synodality, service.
And those nuanced, sometimes seemingly contrasting views on social issues.
Exactly.
Okay, so here's something to think about as we wrap up. He puts such a strong emphasis on unity and this synodal listening approach, but then you have some of his past statements on certain social topics. It makes you wonder, what are the potential tensions or maybe the opportunities for the church under Pope Leo IV? Where might things rub up against each other? Definitely something to watch.